glad to be a part of the YouTube vinyl community now. I'm getting into making these videos, and it's been exciting. This is actually the first video. The first one I did was actually the second video, so this is my introduction to the channel video. I'm going to try to keep this as short and sweet as I can because I can go on and on forever. I think this is like take 87 in this. So I've been listening to records since I was probably 7 years old. I had a Mickey Mouse turntable, you know, a big hand that moved across the records, and a whole box of 45s that I got sent to by my cousins in Cleveland. And I loved that. I would sit down in the basement, play with my trains, listen to records, and it was a blast. And I moved on to LPs as I got a little older. First record I bought was Kiss Love Gun. Second one I got was Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, because everyone said it's the best record of all time, the best Beatles record of all time. Of course, we know after collecting that it is a great record, but that's debatable. And that's part of why I'm doing this channel, to talk about records. And so, after I was listening to records on my dad's stereo, and soon after, Dad said, I think he needs his own stereo. So I got one of those units with the radio on the bottom and the turntable on the top and the plastic speakers to the side, and I was in audio heaven. I could sit there and listen to America's Top 40 every Sunday morning, and I would wait till it got down to number 1, and I would listen to those long distance dedications, because who doesn't love those long distance dedications at that age? And I, you know, kept buying records. Whenever I go to the mall with my friends, I go to 2 places: the arcade and the record store. So I'd play some games and then flip through the records. And I always brought a record home or 2, maybe a single, and or a 45, and an LP or something of that nature. But I was always bringing records home. And at 11, my parents got divorced, moved to Cleveland, and life in Cleveland was not good for me. I had my cousins, Doug, Lisa, and Lee, my Aunt Barbara and Uncle Les, and my family, and my mom and my sister. And other than that, I had records and music. And every weekend I would bug my mom to take me to Coventry Yard to go to the different record stores. I would go to Record Exchange, I would go to Record Revolution, which was kind of like a t-shirt shop and kind of flashy, but downstairs was Stiff Records, and Stiff Records was our record store. And I don't know if it had any relationship to the label. If it did, please comment down below and let me know the history of that store and more about it if you happen to know. And if it was related to the label, I haven't bothered to research it or anything, but when I lived there, I bought a lot of records, and I was buying, you know, classic rock, mainly, the Stones, the Doors, things of that nature. But the things, I just had to have them. I loved them. And I eventually decided, other than my family and the Cleveland Browns, Cleveland was not for me. I'm still a Browns fan to this day, and this season was fantastic to watch. So, you know, loved it. And so anyway, I moved back to Dayton, which was kind of bittersweet because I moved away from my cousins, my sister, and my mom. But I was with all my old friends, and I started doing better in school, and just, you know, and I got a car, and I could drive across town to the University of Dayton campus and go the second time around, the used record store down there, and just dig through and find some good things, and then stop at the record store in the Oregon district and bring home those records. And I had my record friends that I would trade records with and listen to records with and talk record music stuff with and just kind of geek out. And then I had my regular friends who could care less, but you know, that's how that went. But it was a great time for me. Eventually, when I graduated high school, I moved to Columbus to go to the Ohio State University, and Ohio State had at least 8 or 9 good record stores on campus. And of course, they were always getting good used inventory in because students would get short on cash for either beer, living expenses, or just traded them for other records they wanted. So there was always a big influx of records coming into the used stores on campus. And you know, some of those people that worked in those stores today, or back then, I still talk to today, which is rather funny. But yeah, I run into them in my everyday life now, and it's kind of cool. But needless to say, time went on, and I switched to CDs for a while. I know, but I kept my records. They didn't go anywhere. They were boxed up and put away, and they were in the basement of my house. And one day I was recovering from a major surgery, and I said, you know, I just don't enjoy listening to music as much anymore. What is it? And I decided that I didn't like CDs any longer. So I went on eBay, I bought a Music Hall MMF 1.1 or 2 or something like that. But it was one of those, my first audiophile turntable. It had a Shure cartridge on it. It sounded great. I loved it. And I just started buying records again. And I've been buying them ever since. And Columbus still has a ton of record stores. I mean, Cincinnati, they've got chili. Chicago has pizza. In Columbus, we've got record stores. We still have 8 or 9 good record stores. My first video I did, which was Lost Weekend Records, I really love that store. And Kyle's a great guy. He's the owner. Spoonful with Brett and Amy, and Elizabeth's with Dave. They're all good stores. And then of course we still have the grand old daddy at Used Kids Records, and that one is probably the biggest record store that I've been to and in my lifetime. As far as just inventory, you can just like hang out in there for a week and get lost. It's a great store. So I do plan on highlighting all these stores in my future videos. I also plan on doing a system tour because I want to show you guys what I listen to my records on. I have a couple systems in the house, so I've got my main one, and I've got the bedroom one, and I've got the basement one, so I think I have 3 systems, and of course I have records in all those rooms. So that's maybe do one system at a time, but I'm excited about doing this, and I'm excited about talking to you about records and my experiences at record stores, because I love record stores. It's like going to a bar and you can just BS with your friends and talk about music and talk about records and the different bands and life in general, politics. I mean, the only thing missing is a cold beer, but I can live with that. And I hope you will join me on this journey as I talk to you about my life with music, the ups and downs, the highs, the lows, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. So if you like this video, and I hope you do, and you want to see more, please subscribe, ring that bell, and enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing. And if you buy any new records this week, post below what you got. And I'll post soon on what I pick up. So it's going to be fun.